know too that we've had some conversations on LinkedIn, like you've posted recently about talking about getting left behind if you're not learning.
Hmm.
I would love to dig into that. I know that's not in our notes, but I would love to dig in
Oh
a
no,
little
go
bit
for
into
yeah,
that about like the importance of staying in front of technology.
yeah,
Like what would you advise a small business owner who's like maybe like just use ChatGPT sometimes, but maybe
yeah.
not to the full extent of what they could. What would you advise them?
That is a great question. That is a great question. The way I summarize it is this: it is easier to keep up than it is to catch up.
Mm,
And I've been saying that about any piece of technology. Because like again, higher ed colleges tend to be a little slow to adapt. They're very, very cautious about it, which I get. Like there's a lot of like between the FERPA and the laws and all this kind of stuff involved. It is sort of a slow process. However, that being said, from like business owners and things like that, like get in there and start using it. If it even if it's just the free version of ChatGPT or Claude or whatever it is, get in there and just start using it, start giving it prompts and seeing how it responds. But that's what I mean by like it's going to be easier to keep up than it is to catch up, which is as fast as this technology changes, and it is mind-blowingly quick how
yeah.
different these models
Yes.
are. Yeah. Like using GPT 01 or 03 is so much different than 4.0 or even 3.5. It's like this is just wildly different. So as this grows, and this is where I mean, I think this that keeping up with it is going to be really important because of how fast it's moving. Just use the latest model, just default to the latest one. I don't think it makes sense to use the older ones unless you're like running out of tokens or something like that, or the cost. But beyond that, just kind of play around with it, ask it questions, experiment with it. You're not going to break it. And again, I say we learn by doing, especially with something new like this. We can watch videos, we can learn, watch tutorials and stuff like that. But because of the dynamic nature of AI, generative AI in particular in this case, I think it would be honestly more productive if people just jump in and start using it. You're not going to break the technology, and you don't
Right.
have to use what it produces. Like there was a few times I was trying to get like some sort of social media kind of content out of AI, and eventually I would just give up. I'm like, you know what, this is not working. I'm just going to write it myself. you know,
Yes.
because for whatever reason it just wasn't on the same wavelength that day. Yeah.
Yeah.